Oh man, that's tiny. It's pretty small though. Is that readable? Also, hey F-Dork, how you doing tonight? Thank you for joining me. Whoops. Got a bit of an echo here. Might have to make the text size bigger in Streamlabs later. But for now, we'll keep it as is. Today we're going to be trying out some shenanigans, is what I like to call it. When Bedlam Reveler came out, I think Grixis was probably the place where most people thought it was going to be most powerful in. Now, as we saw, it turned out to be Mardu, just because of the fact that Lingering Souls is a really powerful card. It's actually pronounced Fjord, but with a K. Oh, like... Oh, I say F-Dork. Is that what I do? Yeah. Fjork. Fjork. Did I say it right there? Fjork? Fjork? Hey, JCP. I'm not gonna say the rest of that name. But I think that's you, Justin. So hey, how you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us here, Mr. JCP. Close enough. All right, Fjork. I'll work on it. We'll work on it together. So I was talking about Grixis and Bedlam Reveler. Also, the chat box is hidden behind the deck list at the moment. I don't think it's hidden. I think it goes away pretty quickly. I set it up so that it's like right one is on top of the other. I haven't messed around in Streamlabs too much yet, so I definitely have to mess around with the settings. But it's not hidden. It just goes away after a few seconds. The settings are probably set up for maybe a more popular stream where you don't want messages to hang around too long, maybe. But hopefully it's okay for now. We'll get it working better next time, but I don't want to have to cut out and mess around in Streamlabs right now for you guys. But I don't have a second monitor, but I do have my girlfriend's laptop over here, so we have both Streamlabs open for notifications. And we have chat as well, so I'll be able to communicate with you guys hopefully a bit more effectively than I normally do. So as we were talking about, we got Grixis Reveler over here, or Pyromancer, whatever you want to call it. So we would, when Bedlam Reveler came out, it seemed that Grixis might be the most popular shell for it, but again, it turned out to be Mardu, probably because of the interaction with Lingering Souls. But I've been thinking a lot about like Thought Scour and just having more like things to do on turn one in terms of like cantripping, and I like the idea of like Snapcaster Mage also in a really grindy deck. Now we do lose access to cards like Lingering Souls. We also lose access to cards like Cabal and Werter out of the sideboard. But I thought it would be kind of a reasonable thought experiment, and it's not like these kind of decks haven't been tried before. I did a little bit of research. It seems like Ben Friedman was trying to play a deck like this a while back. It also had a couple 5-0s like a long time ago, probably like 5 or 6 months ago. So like again, this idea is not completely unrealistic, but what we have here is generally the same approach as Mardu Pyromancer, but we're going to be running it in the Grixis colors. So we get access to cards like Thought Scour, we get access to cards like Snapcaster Mage, we get access to cards like Jace the Mind Sculptor, and my one-of Spice here in the form of Saheeli Rai. Now the reason I like Saheeli Rai is because you can trigger it off of Snapcaster with its -2 as well as Bedlam Reveler, and +1 in scrying is not horribly irrelevant, but it generally is. But on an empty board, you can scry, deal damage. It might stack up, but generally what we're using her for is her -2 to target Bedlam Reveler or Snapcaster Mage. Also, if you have both Jace and Saheeli on the board together, which is pretty, win more, obviously, but the fact is you can Brainstorm, put a bad card on top, and then scry it away with Saheeli. We've drawn 19 lands. That's one less than we have in Mardu Pyromancer, but we have 4 Thought Scours. Obviously, it's not a selective cantrip. What that means is Thought Scour bins 2 random cards off the top of your deck and draws you a random card. So it doesn't necessarily help you hit land drops, but that's the idea we're going for here, is that maybe we trim a land and have 4 cantrips. Maybe that helps our consistency a little bit more, and then it'll help us from flooding a little bit. We have 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor because that's one of the big reasons to also be blue. Now, I don't know how good Bedlam Reveler and Jace the Mind Sculptor interact together, but we'll go ahead and try it out today. No expectations. Sideboard here. I don't really like cantrips in a counter spells in a Bedlam Reveler deck, but that's what we're gonna try out. Just a couple of them, just because Stroke and Dispel can help you push through Reveler against control decks. It can also help you against combo decks and things like that. 2 more Collective Brutalities to accompany the 1 of Collective Brutality in the main deck against Burn, against combo, against control. We have Kalitas here to gain us some life, help us in mid-range or aggro matchups. Liliana the Last Hope, similar, helps in the grind, also helps against little critter decks like elves, like humans, like opposing Lingering Souls decks. I really like Liliana in the Mirror as well. For Leyline of the Void is our graveyard hate of choice. Now, I'm not sure if Leyline is actually correct. In a Snapcaster deck, Surgical, some combination of Surgical and maybe Nile Spellbound might actually be more correct. But I don't actually own Surgicals online right now, and I didn't really want to go through the trouble of getting them, so we're just going to try Leyline of the Void. If things turn out poorly or we find situations where Surgical would have been way better than Leyline in combination with a Snapcaster Mage, we'll go ahead and consider that down the road. But for now, just a Leyline of the Void. JCP, only 1 Lily. Yeah, just 1 Lily, which is Liliana the Last Hope. I don't think Liliana the Veil works well in this deck specifically, especially with Snapcaster Mage. Like, you don't always really want to +1 with Liliana on the board. Then you have to bin a Snapcaster that maybe you want to save to be a little more reactive. And you already have kind of dis-synergy with Bedlam Reveler and Snapcaster Mage, because it's kind of hard to unload these Snapcaster Mages in time when you're trying to maybe power out a Bedlam Reveler. So it's possible that some of the lists that I saw, actually only had 2 Snapcaster Mages. I'm going to be a bit greedy and play 3, and we'll see if maybe that kind of ends up biting us. Continuing more on the sideboard, we have an Abrade. Helps deal with Hollow One, aggro decks, artifact decks. We have Molten Rain. That's 3 of them, because Tron is a big poo-poo deck, and we'll try to beat them with Molten Rains. Alternatively, you can just try to beat them with a faster clock, more counterspells. But again, Bedlam Reveler and counterspells don't always play too great, so I try to keep it on the more aggressive approach. And then 1 Engineer Explosives. We are a 3-color deck. Access to this kind of card is just crucial. Commander Root, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope you'll enjoy the stream tonight. Yeah, Veil gets a lot worse without souls in the deck. I agree. Yeah, you don't just have you don't have value pitches either. So like Faithless, Lingering Souls. Sometimes you might be able to value pitch a Faithless Looting, but again, that's not quite value. It's kind of like discarding half a card. But yeah, I don't like Lily with too many Snapcasters in the deck. Obviously, Saheeli could easily be a Liliana the Veil. I'm just trying out some spice. Okay, JCP, good analysis. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully that helped clear up some of my decisions here. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a league. I tested out the deck a bit in the 1v1 free lobbies. I think I beat Hollow One, but obviously JCP, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. The big thing I'm looking for with this deck is it too cute? Is it efficient? Is it actually doing anything better than Mardu Pyromancer currently does? We obviously give up access to Blood Moon in a build like this, because blue is a much more dominant color.
than if we were just like, you know, splashing white for lingering souls. And I say like in quotations because we're not really splashing white when we do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and play first. Won the die roll. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep this. Not much interaction, but we could also save this Faithless Looting for when we know we want to pitch something. Also, the Snapcaster Mage doesn't look too great. We could save the Faithless Looting to trigger Young Pyromancer on turn 3. We also don't know what we're looking for with Faithless Looting yet. Yeah, Reveler plus Snapcaster seems like it could be pretty rough. I tried building UR Pyro and went with Thing in the Ice over Reveler just so I could reliably hold onto Snapcaster and counter spells. Yeah, that's a good point. Snapcaster Mage tends to lead towards a more reactive game. And then having, you know, hopefully it just means you'll have more practice spells you can snap back aggressively. Yeah, that's the hope. That is the hope. Alright, looks like we're playing against humans here. Usually they're playing Militia Bugler lately. That might make this matchup a little bit harder, but if we can land an early Young Pyromancer, maybe we'll be in a good spot. Sure. Fatal Push is a pretty solid draw here. I think I want to aggressively get out this Young Pyromancer, though. Next turn, if our opponent does not play a Thalia, we can Faithless Looting into Fatal Push, hopefully. Easy magic, guys. Turn 2 kill. We broke the format. Alright, we're up against humans here. I like Liliana the Last Hope in this matchup. EE does a bunch of work. Abrade is fantastic. There's an argument for Kalidas as well as the 2 Collective Brutalities. We'll see if we have enough to take out. I'm just a master, guys. Don't question how. Do not question how. GG, I guess. Yeah, right. I guess. What do we want to trim against this deck? We're definitely not like grinding our opponent out with Saheeli, so definitely go ahead and cut that. We probably want to cut our Jaces as well. Do not think this is a Jace matchup. Braid, EE, and Lily are probably the first cards I bring in here. And now I have to consider whether these brutalities are efficient enough as removal spells, and if Kalidas is a reasonable card against a Reflector Mage deck, and if they're better than anything that we currently have. So personally, I kind of like most of my discard spells against humans, especially if they're on the Bugler variant, because we could rip something out of their hand. Maybe we can, I don't know, trimming a Snapcaster seems loose. That's like trimming a removal spell in some cases. Maybe we, yeah, like, Collective Brutality is maybe not amazing in this matchup, but I kind of like the idea of Kalidas somewhere. Like, Kalidas helps us gain life, maybe helps us stabilize after turn 4. Maybe we trim like one Thoughtseize. I look at Brutality as a 2-mana removal spell. The thing is, like, Brutality is not just a 2-mana removal spell because they their creatures get so big so quickly that Brutality is not always a useful removal spell. That's my problem with it personally. Like, they have Thali's Lieutenants and just the other one that grows big. Let's see, they scry to the top with their scry, worth noting. They will be drawing a card that they like. Opponent using, sure. Alright, we have plenty of removal in our hand. Yeah, it's a rough one at that. Yep, so if we're able to curve Bolt into Snap Bolt in this matchup, looks like it might be pretty good for us. Now the reason I shocked here was because I want to be able to maybe use these fetches on end of turns and like get them tapped. Let's see what my opponent plays here. We probably want to bolt it. If this is like a Thalia, then I'm just going to bolt the Champion of the Parish. So we bolt now because Thalia would make it such that we can't cast bolt this turn. Faithless Looting. Not so great in the face of a Thalia, but it'll do, it'll do. We could save this bolt here for a Mantis Rider. Alternatively, if we want to be able to curve into Snap Bolt next turn, we'll probably have to get rid of the Thalia. In this match, yeah, it's a rough one at that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, JCP, Justin. Right? You are Justin. Hopefully I haven't been, like, getting it completely wrong. Champion is fine. If they have another 1-drop here, like a Noble Hierarch, that's also fine. I think I'm just going to get an island and bolt the Thalia. Yeah, just checking, Justin. Glad to have you around. Let's just go ahead and do this right now. No need to waste time. I'm pretty tempted to kill the Noble Hierarch because it stifles their mana development. Don't know if that's actually good though. Ooh, Thoughtseize could help us make some decisions here, right? We could Thoughtseize and then Collective Brutality the champion. I kind of like that, because Thoughtseize is going to become dead very soon. Alright, so they have two pretty good cards left in their hand. Mantis Rider and Thalia's Lieutenant. So Mantis Rider we can answer with a Snap Bolt. However, I think it's still the most troublesome card to leave in our opponent's hand. Awkwardly, I don't have another Blood Crypt here that I'd want to get. Yeah, that's pretty awkward, isn't it? Hopefully we'll find another fetch land to be able to cast this Bedlam Reveler. Ooh, well, that's not too strong here. Kitetail Freebooter. Yeah, they'll hit our Faithless Looting. We have Snap Bolt. And if you guys are over at YouTube, this will be posted on YouTube later. Hope you're enjoying the content so far. Alright, get smacked for 1. Makes sense. Terminate, not a bad pickup. We can just play this game slowly. Still want to find another red source pretty soon. Let's see, our opponent wants to attack here. I think I want to use my damage-based removal first. Terminate. It's also the more efficient removal. It does exile an instant sorcery out of our yard, which is kind of relevant with Bedlam Reveler. With that said, I think we're in a fine spot here against humans right now. I think if I was my opponent, unless they have like a really good follow-up here on the next turn, I would have maybe play Thalia's Lieutenant pre-combat, because then I would have to, well, I guess I wouldn't have to bolt. What is going on here? Is it Snapcaster maybe? Did my opponent, I guess we might have Bolt in our deck. I mean, Lingering Souls in our deck. This is Snapcaster seems like a super sketchy card to bring in against us. I mean, yeah, sure. You want to kill my Snapcaster? Honestly, like, That's fine. Sure. He thinks you're Mardu. Yeah, that's fair. Did we ever show him blue? All I knew was the Pyromancer stack. It seems like a fine board in. Oh, that's true. That's true. I always forget that we have Pyromancer in our deck. Yeah, that's totally fair. All right, we're wanting to find another red source here. You can discard this extra Reveler. An Inquisition wouldn't be the worst either right here, but hopefully we can find kills the Pyromancer tokens, clear the blocks. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I kind of like this young Pyromancer. The question is, am I really discarding Terminate? Oh wow, Pyromancer is obviously horrible against, is it Snapcaster, so I don't see us clearing that out of the way anytime soon. Didn't find the red source though. Probably need to tweak the mana base a little bit. Hopefully we can use our Fatal Push pretty efficiently here and not get like Mantis Ridered. Oh man, this looks exactly like a Mantis Rider. Jeez. Alright, yeah. I guess that's what we get for having a greedy mana base. We can hopefully terminate it next turn. Alright, so this could line up really well for us. Scalding Tarn was probably the best draw, because we can also enable Fatal Push by cracking it to get a mountain. And then next turn we can just Reveler for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. So that's pretty perfect. I'm gonna let them attack first. Kind of want to use the Fatal Push here, so I'm gonna get my basic mountain right now. Then we can terminate something end of turn. We know they have a Thali's Lieutenant in hand. Our opponent has drawn straight fire though. 2 lands and a Noble Hierarch. What more do they need? This could be a Kitesail Freebooter here. So we could say okay to that. The question is, do we want to kill it? It is a flyer, and flyers could get in some pretty good damage against us. Especially with a Thalia plus Noble Hierarch. So I don't mind this at all. Could have killed the Noble Hierarch if we wanted to be greedy. Ooh, see, not having enough access to red mana feels super bad here. Do we want to take a turn off to like bolt something? I think we just want to, I don't know, like, how could we get punished if we wait? How do we get punished? I think there's ways we get punished. So I'm just gonna go ahead and Reveler right now. Bin the bolt. Hope to draw some goodies. Resto, yeah, but the thing is they have 3 lands and we know the last card in their hand, so Resto wouldn't really get us. It could get us in a couple turns. What's nice is we have a Faithless looting, so even if we draw just a bunch of trash here, we can hopefully next turn loot into something good. The point from here on out, though, is to start like chaining Revelers, maybe like Cake Commands and Snapcaster Mages, just overwhelm our opponent. We are at 8 life, so like top decking. Wow. Do we just want to Fatal Push this right now? Probably. Just deny them some mana. We have Cake Command to get back Snapcaster Mage as well. And we have Thought Scour here to enable Prowess on our turn in case we need to make some blocks or something. Not very relevant though. Not very relevant. So we got 10 viewers here right now. So all of you viewers, thank you so much for joining me here for this stream today. Really appreciate you hanging out, playing some Grixis Pyromancer, similar to Mardu Pyromancer, but with Grixis colors. Alright, looks like my opponent's maybe going to run out the Thalia's Lieutenant now. Yeah, we'll say okay to that. Not too scary. So now we don't know the contents of my opponent's hand anymore. Opponent is attacking. Come again? Yeah, I didn't think so, buddy. Alright, bend some lands. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll take it. I will take it. We'll go ahead and ping off that Thalia's Lieutenant. Start swinging in here soon. We'll probably play the land just because we want to be able to like get Snapcaster Mage back and just do some shenanigans with that. We have sources of card advantage outside of like looting right now, so I'd rather just be able to get an untapped or a tapped shock land here. Probably a Steam Vents, another red source. And looks like my opponent concedes to that. I think that's a smart decision, opponent. Alright, sweet. We're 1-0 starting off this league against probably what seems like a new Humans opponent, but we'll take our wins where we can get them. Jump into another match here. Hope you all are having a fine night tonight. At least it's nighttime for me. So whatever time of day it is for you all, hope you're enjoying yourself. Appreciate you spending the time here with me. Hopefully we can dodge Tron today. Our last Mardu League, we ran into Tron round 1, Tron round 2. I feel like that's just like my philosophy in Modern. With all the decks that I play like all the fair decks. Tron is just exactly what you never want to see. I remember my first experience playing against Tron in a competitive tournament in paper. Is this a comp league so there's money? Of course this is a comp league. What else would I... Of course. I mean, I don't really like friendly leagues because people are more inclined to bring decks that you would never, ever expect to face. It's just more viable testing. It's a more viable testing environment. We'll go ahead and ship this hand away. Oh boy. It's one of those days, huh? Definitely don't want a second Reveler in this spot. Darkslick Shores, okay. Breeding Pool gives me hope that our removal will be live this matchup. Hand has lands and spells. Snap, keep. Yeah, absolutely. Sand is gas. I think we have different definitions of gas, personally. But, Blighted Agent. Oh boy, it's Infect. It's a good matchup, guys. It's a good matchup. Snapcaster Mage? I'm so sorry, opponent. Nah, we could still easily lose this game. I mean, I don't want to use the word easily, but we could still lose this game. Dreadbore. I guess this is one of the matchups where Dreadbore isn't the best. Where like you'd want another Terminate over it. But I think those are a bit rare. If our opponent does nothing here, I might just like, ooh, Dryad Arbor. Interesting. Not gonna fight over that right now. Against Infect, it's important to fight over their creatures on usually the end of their turn or during your turn. That way their pump spells aren't also hitting you for damage. Glistener Elf. Sure. So with this Dryad Arbor here, I think I'm going to get this Blood Crypt. Might be a little greedy. We don't want to die to damage based. We don't want to die to damage really, but it might happen. And now we see a bit of the nombo between Snapcaster Mage and Bedlam Reveler. Obviously, Snapcaster Mage is just fantastic here, but maybe we don't want all 4 Revelers in a build like this because you have so much fighting over the graveyard resources. Yeah, Blossoming Defense. This lets us actually convert our Dreadbore into something useful. I probably should have kept up Blood Crypt to represent both Bolt and Push. Here I'll hold back Snap to block. If my opponent wants to use a pump spell to get rid of Snapcaster Mage, that's still kind of like a 2-for-1. Ooh, well, Pendelhaven does not make my life easy, does it? If I block, they just activate Pendelhaven, turn it into a 2-3, then it's just dead. I think I'm just going to say okay here. I don't think we're dead. I think my opponent needs to have a lot of things here to kill us. They need like Mutagenic, Become Immense, Groundswell. Wow, Inquisition's probably one of the best draws I could get here. Just figure out what my opponent's got sitting in their hand. Set a stop on their upkeep. Might be relevant. Mutagenic, Might of Old Krosa, Become Immense. Wow. Yeah, they could have, what, 6, 8, 10? They could have almost had it. We probably just want to take Might here. It costs mana, but it also presents the most damage in combination with like a Blighted Agent. But now we see that the coast is clear. I'm going to go ahead and terminate this right now. Nice to have some non-damage based removal here. And now we can actually start trying to win the game. Opponent just passes the turn. Faithless Looting. I guess we'll fire it away. Maybe find another land. Oof. Fatal Push just seems so good in this matchup, but maybe I'm just building towards Reveler for next turn. I don't know. It says like I kind of have it all and I don't know what I want to do. I probably want to discard Jace though. Jace doesn't seem fantastic. The question is, do I want to keep Cake Command or Fatal Push? Probably want to keep Fatal Push. I think it's a little bit more relevant against what my opponent has in their hand. But I can use Kolaghan's Command Jace K command, you think that's the keep? I don't think so. I think we want to end this game. Resolving a Reveler is going to be really important. Also, hey Darkspawn777, glad to have you here. Thank you for pitch Jace command. Oh, what? That's the pitches. Yeah, pitch Jace. Oh, hey MT80. No worries. It's not late. This is just the second match. Or do you mean maybe the stream is late? Yeah, the stream is late. Yeah, looting is always a really tough decision. Yeah. I mean, based on what we know about our opponent's hand, Fatal Push just leaves us some interaction if they draw a Infect creature like right now. But pitching both of the instants and sorceries lets us cast Reveler, so it's tough. Nah, I meant me. Yeah, it's late for you. Where are you at right now? What's your time zone? I guess it's late for me too, right? But it's like 11. Just ride the Snapcaster to win. Yeah, that's the goal right now. All right. Don't think they usually play second Dryad Arbor. Okay, so they play the Glistener Elf. I think I'm gonna Fatal Push it. Yeah. Then Bolt Face. We'll go ahead and swing here. Push it to the limit. I'm already second hand missing the Mardu land base. Full on 3 colors way more intensive than the white splash. Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Agreed. Mana base is not free. How many instant sorcerers do we have in the yard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it worth actually casting this Thought Scour? I don't think so. We might want to use like land drop plus a 2 mana spell. So I think it's okay just to bin this Thought Scour. Holy crap. Okay. Sure. That's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff we don't care about. Alright, no second Dryad Arbor. But it needs an Infect creature right now or they're dead. We know 2 of the cards in their hand. Glad you have that Looting Flashback. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a Noble Hierarch. Keeps them alive, at the very least. Jeez. I think keeping Blackleaf Cliffs open is probably the best land we have. Saheeli, oh, that could be pretty sweet next turn. I kind of like attacking with Reveler because it forces my opponent to use a Become Immense if they want, but at the same time, then we can't Saheeli next turn for lethal. So I think we just say go here and just try to go wide around this Noble Hierarch. We have Snapcaster Mage to block. So no matter which way my opponent cuts it, I think they're dead next turn. Yeah, I just pass, yeah. I think that's a good call. Also, Darkspawn, thank you for the follow. Didn't notice that. Thank you, thank you. If you're enjoying the stream so far, please consider hitting that. Oh my god, are we dead? Oh god, not like this, not like this. Pendelhaven pumps it to a 2. Become Immense is another 6. They go to 8. And we're dead. Yeah. I guess I should have attacked. Wow. I guess we need to find Fatal Push right now. Whoa, alright. Let's pack it in, boys. And we're dead. Wow. Opponent played it really well there. Opponent played it pretty well. That feels pretty rough. Definitely played to their outs, right? Again, you don't want your grindy planeswalkers for this matchup. That was entertaining. Yeah, that was entertaining. Well done by my opponent. Well done. The spell seems solid here. Our brutalities seem really nice. Engineering explosives is great because it doesn't target. All these are also pretty fine. The question is, do we want to cut things? I've seen Reduke cut Bedlam Revelers in his deck against Infect, because usually you just need one to win. EE, is that better than anything we have currently going on? I don't know anything about Grixis Pyromancer. How standard is this list? This list is something I brewed up myself using some of the resources that have already been out. I haven't seen much of Infect lately. Yeah. Haven't seen much of Infect lately either, but it is a deck. It's out there. Kind of want to cut a young Pyromancer, just like maximum interaction. Yeah, there's no really standard Grixis Pyromancer lists out there. No red mana, but we do have Double Inquisition on the play. I'm gonna keep it. It's a bit risky. Kitchen Finks. We probably just want to take the Noble Hierarch this turn and then take the Blighted Agent next turn. Alright, this is how we die. Never draw the red mana. Let's go take the Blighted Agent, play an island, say go. Maybe this hand was a trap. I still dream sometimes of them in Banky. Don't know what Banky is. Go ahead and mistype, sorry. No worries. Could take the Kitchen Finks. They could get a Dryad Arbor here and things could get, you know, sticky, but I think just taking their threats is probably just fine. Alright, here comes the Dryad Arbor beats. Yeah. So they play the Pendelhaven. Pump it. Sure. The idea is we hit red mana at some point in this game and we don't die. Alright, let's do that main phase. Well, if there's any spell we're going to get, at least Collective Brutality does something, right? I would say that I still dream of them unbanning Probe. I lose some interest in Modern after that since it affected decks that I played. Still love Modern though. Yeah, I agree. I think I normally play out of interactive decks, so while Probe was a really powerful card that they had access to, I do think that games versus Infect were quite fun on my end. But I totally understand that, like, a lot of people that did play Gitaxian Probe, well, this is kind of a 2-for-1. They have to use a spell from their hand to protect their Dryad Arbor, but we still get a look at their hand. That is if they don't draw, like, they didn't have a Spell Pierce here. Yeah, Modern's great. Modern is definitely my favorite format. I've played Standard a little bit, and I used to play Legacy a little bit, but they have Blossoming Defense and Vines. I kind of want to take the Vines. It takes more mana to make it into a pump spell, but it also deals the most damage. So we'll take Vines. Hopefully we draw a red source. Would love to be able to run probe in modern combo decks. I didn't really play much back then when it was legal. Yeah, I don't remember quite the modern meta back then. It's quite a haze, but you know, Twin didn't play it usually, and that was like the blue combo deck that was most popular with Gitaxian Probe around. I don't remember what decks really did play it. Sweet, that's red mana, and it's a game. All right, now we'll slowly start forcing them to use these defenses. Alternatively, I could have actually Snap Inquisitioned. Don't think that's actually that good though. Let's just go ahead and bolt here. Opponent's got to use something. I played in Storm, and now the lists have moved away from Ascension. Oh, that's true. Storm did play it. That's right. Wow, they just let that die. Super interesting. Groundswell, Blossoming Defense, Distortion Strike. We probably want to take the Blossoming Defense here. It's their best way to protect a creature they draw. Don't think these lists play 2 Dryad Arbors. Again, had that same discussion last game. So we have a couple options next turn. We can go end of turn Snap Thought Scour. Alternatively, we could go Snap Inquisition. I think we just want to keep the cards flowing right now. We have a lot of good things going on. So alternatively, we could also Snap Bolt, try to be more aggressive. But you got killed by Distortion Strike last game, yeah. But this game's different, right? We have a lot more tools to interact with our opponent right now. Didn't have Terminate in hand last game, yeah. So again, there's an argument to just going Snap Bolt to speed up our clock. But I think I like keeping the cards flowing. We're not a surefire to win this game. So Thought Scour just seems a bit more safe. What have we been? Anything good? 2 lands. All right. Wow. Do you have any lootings in the yard? This might be a good opportunity to cast looting. We're not going to get killed out of the blue because we've already dealt with Dryad Arbor and we know 2 of the 3 cards in our opponent's hand. So I kind of like just looting for something good here. Probably playing this Blackleaf Cliffs tapped. Oh, sweet. So Reveler is kind of nice. It's a good clock, but let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Reveler is easy to cast. We probably want to discard this Tarn. Well, do we want to discard this Tarn? It does let us keep up Lightning Bolt this turn, but I think we want to discard Tarn. Maybe discard Dispel. Dispel is a pretty big non-bow with Bedlam Reveler in our hand. Next turn we can start unloading some of these spells proactively into Bedlam Reveler, but we also don't want to just throw away our position in this game. They are holding cards in their hand, so like K-Command, make him discard, not fantastic, but I don't mind a Thoughtseize. Opponent's playing out to the bitter end here. Probably want to take Groundswell, deals the most damage. Distortion Strike definitely gets us into some awkward spots though. Maybe we just take Distortion Strike. Opponent is sandbagging a land here. Probably smart against the K-Command deck. Opponent hasn't seen any Inkmoth Nexuses in the games we've played, which is usually one of the harder cards to play around. This one, it seems you just kill with Snap and keep your answers, right? Yeah, I think so. Wow. Yeah, at this point I'm just gonna sit back, chip away at my opponent. I could deploy this Engineer Explosives on like 2 right now, or 1, but I don't know. Alright, Glistener Elf it is. I kind of just want to terminate it right away. Young Pyromancer is probably a very, very good draw for me. I think it makes Bolt lethal. Yeah, it makes Bolt exactly lethal if we go for their face next turn. So that was a really nice draw. Alright, well, our opponent is presenting stuff that we have to... Ooh, and an Inkmoth. Oh my gosh, wow. Interesting. Engineer Explosives on 1 gets rid of the Glistener Elf. And then we have to fight through an Inkmoth. I kind of want them to use their pump spells in their hand. Like they can animate Inkmoth and then pump it, and then we can bolt it in response, and then if they want to use their ground spell, that's fine. That means we're not dying the following turn. It also means they have to play around Fatal Push potentially. Could be dead though. Could be dead next turn. But yeah, okay, so this is good for us. So now they have to use at least 1 pump spell. And it means they probably have to use the Groundswell, which is the one that deals the most damage. And now Pendelhaven doesn't actually... Oh, wow. Wow. So Pendelhaven didn't actually work because my opponent's creature was not a 1/2 anymore on resolution. So that worked out really well for us. Oh, hey, Link390. I missed your follow. Thank you so much for that follow there. Oof, yeah, we had a nice setup going, huh? I think what we have here is good. A lot of interaction, a lot of maximize our cheap spells. Everything in our deck interacts. Don't think we could do it much better than this. I kind of like cutting the Bedlam Revelers a little bit too because they do play Relic of Progenitus sometimes out of the sideboard. OMG Grixis Pyro. Yeah, hey Kogan, how you doing? We're just having some fun here on this Friday night. Playing some Grixis Pyromancer. Kappa, yeah. I kind of feel like we should have won that game 1. Kind of beating myself up. Friday, oh my god, it's Saturday night. What am I talking about, guys? I'm crazy, huh? Canyon Minotaur, thank you for that. It is in fact Saturday. I'm just going crazy a little bit. Don't mind me. It is absolutely Saturday night. Alright, my opponent does not have turn 1 threat. Great sign for us. What in the world? Witch Stalker? Guys, I'm done. I'm done. Remember cast the black or blue spell, put a... Jeez. No. You did not lose your mind, my friend. Thank you for that. Alright, so we can bin away a few lands here with Faithless Looting. What's the worst land? Probably Delta is the worst land left in our deck, so... I'm just gonna get a mountain actually. I want to bin the basic island. Basic island is kind of nice. But maybe I just want to bin the basic island at this point. Alright, there's the Windswept Heath. Witch Stalker is super secret tech? Yeah, right? Wow, Fatal Push was probably a really sick draw for us. Alright, there's an Ink Moth. We've got a game of Magic here on our hands. Thankfully we got double removal spell. I think discard spell probably would be the best draw for us at this point. I think I'm gonna actually hold back Pyromancer here. They could rev up Ink Moth and like protect it a bunch, but I don't think that's a worthwhile trade. Blighted Agent, okay. Could use up our opponent's resources a little bit here. I think I'm going to lead with an Abrade. Seems like a lot of really bad matchups. Yeah, it's got a lot of like lopsided matchups, I think, but it can also still beat the interactive matchups. If you're a good Infect pilot, like you take the game slow, you kind of set the pace of the game. All right, so they drew Vines of the Vastwood, which means they're still holding up this Apostle's Blessing. Again, we know about this Apostle's Blessing, but we're just gonna set up a position where Dreadbore is useful. Fact is, though, my opponent does have Might of Old Crowser right now, and that is scary. The spell seems not bad. And here we'll try to race our opponent as best as we can while not dying. A lot of draws here my opponent has are very live. So we need to be a little bit worried about this Inkmoth Nexus. We're not going to willy-nilly fire off this Dispel just at anything. We might just save it unless we're absolutely dead, to a position where we can removal spell and dispel as well. Opponent playing it cautiously here. Inquisition was probably one of the best draws I could ask for here. Probably just take the Might of Old Kroza, the one that does the most infect damage to us. Here we're dealing 5 damage to our opponent, which means that we do have lethal next turn. Now we could have flashback Faithless Looting. I don't think that's where we want to be right now. Interesting, my opponent is firing off Inkmoth Nexus here. Maybe they don't. Maybe they drew a creature actually to block. Oh, they do have the Dryad Arbor off of the Verdant Catacombs, but they have to fetch for that, so interesting. So yeah, they just drew the Glistener Elf, sure. I guess we can start off with a Thought Scour here. See if we can clear the way of this Glistener Elf and just win the game on the spot. I think that's lethal, right? We know the last card in their hand is Mutagenic Growth. This to fetch a Dryad Arbor puts him to 5. Oh, wait. No. That puts them to 5. So it's not lethal. Well, I guess we can just attack and snap Bolt. We have a Bolt in the yard. We don't have a Bolt in the yard. Interesting. How does this go wrong for us? Is what I'm considering in my head right now. This forces them to block here. And then we still get to keep the spell up on our turn. Seems fine. This puts my opponent down to 1 life. And then I don't think they have any outs against the Dispel. Yep. So I did my math wrong last turn, but this is still fine. Seems like a really rough matchup for my opponent. Yep, and that's how you get it done against Blue-Green Infect. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, guys. Stick around just a couple minutes here, 2 minutes. And I'll be back to respond to the messages maybe I didn't see earlier. I'll see you guys in a sec.
Alright, we're back. Thank you for sticking around, guys. Infect and Modern seems pretty bad. Seems like a really bad matchup. Yeah, I didn't get to finish talking about my thoughts on that, but like it also has some really good matchups. If you think about things like Tron, which is huge in the meta right now, I think that's a really good matchup that they prey on. And even like we saw here, they can steal games against interactive decks that we have. But I think the fact that we have discard spells compared to like Blue-White and Jeskai, which are mostly reactive, makes us have a little bit of a better matchup. Infect can be effective in the right meta. Grixis Pyro looks like a real bad matchup for them. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Grixis Pyro just has a lot of ways to attack them on all the axes that they don't want to be attacked on. Discard, removal, go wide, pressure, blockers, etc., etc. Infect had great matchup against combo decks. Pretty bad against anything like Grixis or Mardu that runs a lot of discard / creature kill in the main deck. Yeah, agreed. Let's go ahead and jump into another match here. Agreed. So far we have some pretty decent matchups. We're bound to run into Tron eventually here. For those of you that weren't here for the beginning of the stream, we beat Humans 2-0. We had a turn 2 kill against Humans. And then game 2 here, match 2 we played against Blue-Green Infect. We were able to beat them pretty hard. Although I will say my opponent played really well in game 1. What are you playing in paper? The deck I have in paper is Jeskai Control. I have it fully foiled. It's the deck I played for the longest time in Modern. But online, I've been able to explore a lot more decks, especially since I started making content, and I just really enjoy it. Flamebladed Adept looks like we're up against a pretty scary matchup here, but hopefully we can beat them up. Take up a Goblin Lore here. Interesting. Probably just take the Collective Brutality is my guess. Slows them down a bit. We can then Collective Brutality away this Flameblade. Let's see, how did they scry? I didn't take a look at that. They scryed to the bottom, so that's really good for us. Ew, foil Jeskai. yeah, I'm a Jeskai guy through and through, honestly. Jeskai is my go-to deck. There's a chance I could hit a Lightning Bolt here, but they just fire it off in response. I could gain 2 life, but I don't really want to discard anything in my hand right now. I think we can set up and we can K command this, make him discard, put ourselves in a reasonable position. Then we can maybe find a turn to Thought Scour plus do other stuff. Opponent is fetching, playing that Flamewake Phoenix makes sense. Fatal Push, interesting. This leaves up both K Command and Thought Scour. I don't necessarily want to use this to fetch Shock. Do you still do much with Saheeli combo? You put a lot of videos, so maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I feel like I haven't seen it. Yeah, I've been a little off Saheeli lately. I think Control is one of our worst matchups, and there's tons of Blue-White Control and Jeskai Control running around right now. It just seems like a really, just really bad beats, honestly. I played it a bunch online, and I just had a really rough time. Jeskai Saheeli benefits when there's a lot of Tron, but which there is, but at the same time, there's a lot of Tron and Control in the meta, which is super weird. It doesn't normally happen. Interesting. Let's see if my opponent has a Collective Brutality or Gurmag Angler. That's kind of scary. Don't really have an answer for that right now. Discarded a Bolt. Ah, man, we bend our Dreadbore. Let's see, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can actually cast Reveler for 2 here. That doesn't seem half bad. I think we need to find something better than we're currently sitting on. Oof, okay.
It's gas, but is it the right gas? Alright, the Goblin Lord discarded Flamewake Bloodghast. Oh crap. Alright, we need to get rid of this Gurmag Angler ASAP. I think we even chump here. Jeez. Imagine if we had Lingering Souls here. We would just be chumping for days. That was rough. That was rough. Yeah, we needed to dodge Gurmag Angler for a little bit longer. Yeah, Holland looks like a bad much. Need those ley lines. Yeah, absolutely. You know me. I don't come to Modern without my ley lines. Kalita seems not bad. Abrade seems good against the hollow one part of their deck. Liliana is okay, but probably not worth it. Disdainful Stroke might be reasonable. Collective Brutality helps us gain some life, so we can consider that. Don't want the Molten Rains. Don't want the EE. We probably don't want the Jaces. They make us fetch shock more often, and God, I've just been citing out my like grind package this whole time. It feels kind of bad. I think I'm okay cutting Collective Brutality here as well. Do we want to cut some of our discard spells? Jace Bounce is okay. They do have a lot of haste. Yeah, that's my issue. Like, Jace is expensive, clunky, and this is not a matchup where you want to get tripped up with like 4 CMC cards in your hand. Have you guys had experience with like discard spells against Hollow One as like Pyromancer decks? Do you know if you cut it, keep it? I'm not actually sure how many you're supposed to keep. They are an aggro deck. They do have some very specific pieces that you want to hit, especially on the play, but you also want to be able to interact with what they're doing. Cut Thoughtseize. The relevant spells are Goblin Lord and Burning Inquiry. Yeah, but like Thoughtseize also hits Gurmag Angler and Tasigur, which seems pretty important to me. I think maybe we can cut like 1 Inquisition. I do want this Abrade in here as well. Maybe over like a Fatal Push. Yeah, I think. Oh, so you cut the yeah, maybe just 1 for Abrade. The Abrade def in, cut Inquisition. I've always been a graveyard player, Dread living, and Leyline's giving me a lot of anxiety. LOL. Yeah, Leyline's just the best card. This hand, I think we mulligan it. I think this hand is just generally weak against what my opponent's doing. We have double bolt for a big creature, but oof. This is where the greed shows. Could have kept that hand, could have been serviceable. I'm gonna go ahead and go down 1 more. Reveler. I'm gonna bottom that right now. I'm a master. Oh, both of us on the right plan here. Although my opponent did mulligan a little bit better, or they didn't mulligan at all. Double Flameblade Adept draw with a hollow one in there. God. Yeah, I saw that ley line mirror coming. Yeah. we definitely. I think I should have gotten a basic swamp. Honestly, I think that was a little greedy of me to fetch shock so hard. Although I think we're going to end up fetching anyways. It's just a matter of which basic we wanted. But now that I'm thinking about it, Basic Island is probably the worst basic. Right, there's the Street Wraith. There's another Street Wraith. And there's a turn 1 hollow one. Oh boy. They did it. They did the thing. The thing that their deck does. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I'm thinking this Basic Island was a mistake, because now we can't even cast Terminate or Dreadbore if we draw it. So I think what we were supposed to do was get maybe Watery Grave,
and then fetch a basic mountain. If I didn't hit their land as well, jeez. I think we're just super dead here. I guess a Braid might keep us alive for a little bit longer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see, what did they discard? They discarded another Leyline of the Void, so they still have the 2 Flame Blades in their hand. Classic. Least favorite deck to play against in Modern? Yeah, they're pretty annoying sometimes, but I don't know. Do we just flash in Snapcaster block here? Probably. We're not guaranteed to save this for life anywhere down the road. They could just draw a Bolt. This is probably the turn they also want to deploy cards rather than... I'm not old enough to watch this. Oh, Justin. I'm really, I'm super dead. I mean, like, what's our outs here? I'll play it, but Wizard hates free spells. Wouldn't be surprised if they ban Hollow One someday. The question is, would they ban Hollow One or the Enabler, right? I think Burning Inquiry was the card that leads to more non-games than Hollow One, personally. But I don't know. Hollow One is the one that, wow, this is 8 damage. Now we need like a Bolt. No, we're just, don't think we have any outs. Yeah, and it is a strong deck building. Your name is, and your 2. Yeah, that's the Mr. That's Mr. JC for you there. Touche. Land Bantu's Last Reckoning. Oh boy. I wish. I think the Hollow One matchup is actually not that bad if we were on a Lingering Souls version, but that's alright. This hand is great. It's got a turn 2 Pyromancer followed with a turn 1 Inquisition. What does Zahili do without cats? Target Snapcasters and Bedlam Revelers. That's the idea here. Alright. We don't actually have removal for this Steel Overseer, but they seem to be pretty reliant on this Ancient Stirrings to hit their second land. This could be kind of a rough matchup. We'll find an answer for Steel Overseer, right? Yeah, we'll find an answer. And they'll find the, whatchamacallit, that annoying card, the jar, Welding Jar. I guess that's an answer, but we still need to hit another land drop. Yeah, I think, maybe, I didn't think they'd ban Golgari Grave Troll after unbanning it, but then Wizard's gonna Wizard. Yeah, that's fair. Value. Yeah, this ain't Affinity. This is Hardened Scales Affinity. I think that's the name it's got. Alright, looks like they found another Ancient Stirrings. Probably gonna hit a land drop here. This might give us some time to find a land. Arcbound Ravager is super scary. Super scary card out of them. Found an Inkmoth. Oh, it looks like they had the land, they just decided not to. Play it. Arcbound Worker. Another K command. I think I'm supposed to Thought Scour. Well, this is tough. I think I'm supposed to Faithless Looting first. Alright, we found a land. Probably pitching that and that. Yeah, for sure. They have a lot of ways, especially with Arcbound Ravager and Hardened Scales, to make combat math be really dumb. Sure. I imagine they don't want to attack here, though. Maybe they do.
I don't think they do. Yeah, the thing is, if you don't get under them with like discard spells, then they could just do some really dumb stuff. Like if we could have ripped this Arcbound Ravager a bit earlier, and now we're getting punished also for not keeping the fetch land. Yeah, maybe that was bad. What happens if I just attack with one of these? No. I'll hold back here. You have to K command the Ravager. I don't think I have to do it right this second, but I think I do it once they play something. So I have to K command the Ravager once they probably commit to a Walking Ballista or Steel Overseer. Yeah, so I think I have to do it right now. So destroy target. Well, they could sack this Arcbound Ravager and then like kind of move counters in a certain way here to save this Arcbound worker, but no matter what, I think they still lose. What happened? Did I choose the wrong modes? No. Destroy target artifact. I guess they're just going to move everything onto Arcbound, yeah. Arcbound worker, sure. Yeah, so no matter how we set it up here, it's at least we still got rid of 2 cards out of our opponent. Alright, they're going to attack here. We're going to just chump 1. Oh, they're not going to attack. Alright, that's fine too. Sweet. So this lets us actually Inquisition as well. Jeez, another Ravager. These Hangerback Walkers are also like really scary as well. We do have a Bedlam Reveler in our yard. I kind of want to get one of those back with this K command, but I also want to make my opponent discard, and I also want to kill the Steel Overseer. I definitely can't let them untap with Steel Overseer though. So I think here I just destroy target artifact and return Bedlam Reveler. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have plenty. We can even fire off Thought Seize next turn, maybe get one of the Hangerbacks out of my opponent. We could attack here. We lose 1, but we deal 2. That doesn't seem that good to me. I think we'll wait a little bit on the attacking. They do have these flying attackers we will have to be wary about. Okay. Mox Opal, not exactly turned on though, is it? I guess they could play both of the Hangerbacks for 1. Makes this Thought Seize pretty bad. Yeah, I guess that wasn't such a bad draw, right? Probably play the land Reveler for 2 here. How do we beat Hangerback Walkers though? Do we just go super wide? What are the chances they just draw Hardened Scales? Oh god. Alright, new plan. Go wide. Initiated. Kind of want to deploy this other young Pyromancer. I do think the way we win is just going very wide. And I don't think popping these hangerback walkers is a winning line. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit, feel out the game. I guess I could have popped it in response. Then they only make one. That's that could have been a fair thing. Nice read. Did I have a nice read? Kind of want to snap Thought Scour here, just make a bunch of stuff. I guess this is still game 1. We have Jaces that can bounce them. Jace seems good. Thought Scour, draw a card, make a 1/1. Actually, let's just be more mana efficient here. Always yield. Oh, on the scales. You finally get to use your grindy planeswalker, right? Yeah. Just pray they don't get another Ravager. Yeah, we're just hoping to dodge Ravager at this point. Christ in a bucket. Well, that's stuff. That is stuff. The question is, do we even want to terminate? I guess terminate helps us kill one of these ink moths that eventually will go after us. Yeah, we're just going to go wide here. Dodge Ravager, dodge. I guess even Steel Overseer is not that scary, but it is kind of scary with Inkmoth Nexi. Alright, that's a lot of Inkmoth Nexi. Alright, they're not revving them up, which is good. Do I bolt here? I put them to 17. We have 14 tokens. They have 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 6 blockers. They would block all the big stuff. Do we actually have lethal here? Shouldn't you be beating him with Snap and Elementals? What is that? I guess I could start beating him with Elementals. Yeah, that's a good point. I learned how to stack my triggers finally. That's not produced to be in a bucket. Yeah. Yeah, poor guy. Alright, my opponent's... yeah, I think we did the math there. Opponent can only block so much, and we had, I think, exactly lethal with the Terminate. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. In this matchup, a Braid, Engineer Explosives, Kalitas is really useful. Liliana the Last Hope could be useful. Our deck is already going to be pretty okay against my opponent. Again, I don't like Saheeli very much here, mostly because this is not a grindy matchup. Dreadbore might be kind of sketch. We could probably cut a Thoughtseize cut a Thoughtseize. They're a pretty fast deck. I don't think they play Etch Champion. I could be wrong, but I think we're okay cutting one of Thoughtseize. I also like cutting Collective Brutality. A Braid. Probably cut one Jace for one Engineer Explosives. Let's go ahead and just submit this. Yeah, Kalitas seems fantastic if we can get it and not be dead the following turn, like just untap with it. I'm honestly surprised we got that game, but I think going wide was absolutely the strategy we had to go for. Opponent's deep in the tank here. Alright, well, it's a hand. No hand disruption, but we have removal. We have Young Pyromancer. We have a K command. We have a Kalitas to build towards. Shaper Sanctuary. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is going to be one of those games, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about Kalidas here. It does stop that stuff from happening. All right, let's see how explosive my opponent's draw is. It's very disruptive to what we're trying to do to them, but let's see how proactive it is. Alright, that's just an Arcbound Worker. Ooh, Relic. Okay. Relic definitely puts the hurt on us a little bit. We could actually save these Thought Scours for after Pyromancer's online. But I kind of want to convert it into a card ASAP, so at the same time I don't want to shock myself a bunch. Inquisition. I kind of want Inquisition here. This is whenever a creature you control becomes a target. So, actually, this seems like a fine turn to just Inquisition and then Thought Scour. Hangerback, Walking Ballista. So, Hangerback is obviously scary. I think Walking Ballista is the scarier card, though. It definitely stops our plan of young Pyromancer winning this game. And then Kalidas can stop Hangerback Walker from ever being a ridiculous magic card. I want to take the time to thank you all for choosing to watch me out of all the other streamers that are out there. Really appreciate you guys hanging out. Fjork, did I say that right? Fjork. Swankcaster, should be beating with Snap. Yeah. Thank you for joining me here as well. Well, we're gonna do this anyway, so might as well exile the worst card out of our library, like Scalding Tarn. Hope my opponent didn't rip an Arcbound Ravager or Steel Overseer off the top. Alright, smack for one. We can race that. Alright, just a land. Perfect. Alright, now we have Young Pyromancer out. Unfortunately, it's not the best Young Pyromancer. Because we don't have much mana to play with, but if we can get to a point where, like, we can actually deploy our spells. But I'm just gonna bash in here for one, makes a lot of sense. Another Hangerback. Alright, that's, jeez. I almost want to, like, Inquisition myself. Is that bad? That might be a little bad. That's loose. Let's start with Inquisition myself is not the best. Here we're just kind of hoping to hit a land drop. Third Reveler in the face of a Relic. Yeah. Yeah, you can Inquisition yourself if, like, you're a Lingering Souls deck, but honestly, it's not what we're after here. Go ahead and exile an island. Alright, there goes the Relic. There's a Hardened Scales. Oh boy. And that's a land. So this means we can K-command something if we want to, but they do have the Welding Jar. What we could do is Welding Jar
K-Command the Welding Jar and make them discard a card on their... Let's do Upkeep. Sure. I think I just want to get a basic mountain. So the reason I target the Welding Jar is because if I targeted one of the creatures to make them use the Welding Jar, then Shaper Sanctuary gets to trigger, and then they get to draw a card, and I don't want my opponent drawing a card. My opponent gives a Regeneration Shield to the Hangerback Walker. They discard an Evolutionary Leap. Wow, kind of glad that's not there. But now my opponent gets to pick the best card of the top 5 cards of their deck, basically. And they find a Walking Ballista. Ouch. Walking Ballista comes in with 2 counters here that they can go ahead and kill the Young Pyromancer right away. Now, Young Pyromancer was our out here to not die, basically. Now we're in a scary spot. Our opponent's attacking with that there. Dreadbore. I really wanted to hit mana for Kalitas here. But now they don't have Welding Jar anymore. We could reasonably Fatal Push this Walking Ballista. We could do a couple things. They don't have mana for this Hangerback Walker. So we could just... I mean, popping the Hangerback Walkers, though, seems like such a scary plan. I guess they still have the Shaper Sanctuary, though. So removal isn't that fantastic. I kind of just need... Maybe I need to... I don't know. I don't want them to untap with a Walking Ballista, like play a land, activate it. I guess we can always Fatal Push it in response to the activation. That also eats up their turn. I guess the worst case scenario is like they... I don't know. This seems like a game where I really needed to not only just be on the play. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, opponent doing me dirty like that. Yeah, they get to pop one of the elementals here. Is that GG? Yeah, I don't care for combat math, but it might be GG. Oh god. Whoa, I think I was supposed to block there. Well, I get a Kalitas, but let's see. How many counters can they get to make here? They get to make a lot of counters. I'm going to let my opponent do the math here. If we get to untap with Kalitas, maybe we're not dead. But they have to like go off in response to Kalitas, so if they just like F6 here. Yeah, I have no idea how many flyers they can make right now. Can make 9. Oh, they can... Yeah, I think they can just make 9. And then we can like top deck Engineer Explosives, maybe get back in this game. Oh, they don't. They also just have Inkmoth Nexus as a kill, right? No, they don't, because they got to do this right now, or else death triggers don't happen. I'd also like to point out that my opponent just has a bunch of 4/4s and 5/5s right now. Alright, so they have 11 here. 11 flyers. No, they can make way more, I think. Sack 1 walker, then sack all the flyers it makes. How does that get them more flyers, though? Right, I think they did it the way they were supposed to. Alright, Sack and Horizon Canopy, that's a good start for us to not be dead. but 11 flyers in the air. We need exactly engineered explosives off the oh no, not the dismember. Not the dismember. Which member? Yeah, they need the second raptor to get that loop. Oh, I see. Oh, now we're just super done. All right. Okay. You got it. You got us. Good beats, opponent. Kind of like the idea of another Thoughtseize on the play. Still like Jace though. Maybe cut a Reveler. They probably play like 3 to 4 relics. Reveler doesn't play nicely there. Maybe even cut another Reveler for another like Jace. Jace just bouncing stuff seems pretty fine. I wonder if Manamorphose could be actually useful in this deck, because double blue on Jace is not necessarily the easiest. Perfect. I mean, not perfect. We need a Pyromancer to make this really perfect, but access to all our colors. Got Disruption. Kind of want to take the Welding Jar here. We can Thoughtseize one of the ballistas away. And bolt the other one. Oh god, Evolutionary Leap. Well, we can't really beat Evolutionary Leap, so I'm just gonna take that card as well. At least we have removal spells for the two Oh, Freed Mania, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Hope you've been enjoying the stream so far. Hardened Scales. Alright, that's a card. Snappy. Snap Thoughtseize worth it? Snap Thoughtseize might be worth it. We know 3 of the cards in their hand. Although Snap Removal might just be better down the road. But also, Snapcaster Mage is a blocker for this Arcbound. It does get machine gunned down by Walking Ballista, though. Alright. Was there a thought to bolt modular last turn? Or the Arcbound? I guess we could have, but ooh, yeah, I guess so. Now blocking puts us in an awkward spot, but because then they can just deal us 4 damage. I think that's okay though. Huh, interesting play from my opponent. They're going for the Ink Moth kill, which is awkward with a Ballista right here. I think I want to go ahead and, well, probably want to bolt this rather than use up Fatal Push. Fatal Push can just kill things outright, especially against Hardened Scales already out. There's a chance that that's just not good enough. That 3 damage instant speed is not good enough. And now we just want to hope we can top deck better than our opponent. Thing is, my opponent's lands are relevant. That's going to buy them some kind of, you know, card advantage. After Scales probably makes the shock the shock worth asking. Yeah, maybe. I kind of like how it played out here. Wow, Young Pyromancer. Is that the best draw in our deck?
Quite possibly. Aw, man. Yeah, I was worried about this. Them just having the Dismember, but... Alright, I think we just abrade this, though. Or we could wait a turn. We could wait a turn unless they play something better. Well... I think we just took 2 for no reason. Oh, wow. Punished. I guess that's not super punishing. It's a little punishing. Yeah, I think, oh, Swank Caster, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate it. So they can sack Blinkmoth to get a creature. Arcbound Ravager, oh my god. Probably want to keep up green mana here for Evolutionary Leap. I think we still want to abrade this though. Yeah, they'll get something out of their deck. God, Evolutionary Leap was just like the worst card for us to see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they can do it all, kind of. You can at least bolt this in response. Still a 2-for-1 against Evolutionary Leap. At least the one card they found was Arcbound Ravager, and we found Bedlam Reveler, so that's kind of nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's awkward. I didn't mind drawing those. I just didn't want to pay 1 more mana for my Reveler, but okay. Those are cards. Alright, there's the Worker in play. Comes in as a 2/2. And we need to start attacking here, start applying pressure. What we could have done was bolted the Arcbound Ravager, and in response... Oh no, do they have another Dismember here? Gut Shot? Oh my god. I think I just bolt my opponent. Yeah, I think I should have Inquisitioned main phase to get my Prowess trigger. Walking Ballista. Alright, comes in with 2. Gets my hype every time. God damn, gut shot. My opponent could modular away this Arcbound Worker. Okay. We'll go ahead and Evolutionary Leap here. Let's turn off auto yields. We might need to do something here. Let's put it in the graveyard. We may put its... Yeah, I think what we want to do here is destroy target artifact and return Snapcaster Mage to our hand. The good thing right now is our opponent is pretty strained on mana.
so they hopefully won't be able to just go off. Alright, they found an Arcbound Ravager. That is always scary, but they may be forced to chump with it next turn. The best thing with an Arcbound Ravager right now would be a 1-mana artifact to accompany it. Alright, there's the Ravager. Mox Opal. That is a 1-mana artifact. Or a 0-mana artifact. They can sack it, put 2 on here, make it a 4/4. They make it a 4/4 right away. Man, looting, huh? Wouldn't have minded like a land. So we can go snap. What can we do exactly? What can we do to force through damage? We can snap Fatal Push. Now they still get their Hardened scales. I mean, they found another Ravager, but we get in here for 4 damage. Alright, that's a Ravager. We're gonna loot. Jace, Inquisition. Oh wow, we can't actually cast Jace, can we? Opponent goes down to 2. We can Inquisition the creature that they find off of Evolutionary Leap. Take the Walking Ballista. Opponent's just got an Apostle's Blessing in their hand, and I think they're dead unless they top deck Ballista right now. Hangerback Walker will not do it, I believe. Oh, I guess that will do it. Come on. Come on. They would have to sack it before blocks. We could looting towards like a Snap Bolt. I think we just make the same play we did last turn though. Because they have to double block. They found an Arcbound Worker. They're bound to run out of creatures eventually. Yeah, they have to block here. Position away the Arcbound Worker. Tell my opponent they have to top deck a creature right now. I guess they don't have enough for Evolutionary Leap now, though. So I guess that wasn't so bad. I think maybe I was just supposed to play Young Pyromancer this turn. Yeah, my opponent is fighting the good fight here, right? Okay, Shaper Sanctuary, sure. Yeah, I was definitely just supposed to play Young Pyromancer last turn.
Makes me feel kind of silly. I don't know why I took that Apostle Blessing out of my opponent's hand. It's still there. Oh man, Welding Jar too. Sure. Opponent could even get no, they can't quite get frisky. Comeback 323, Jordan, I think. Thank you so much for following. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. Here we're digging towards Lightning Bolt. Or a Snapcaster Mage. Something good to do. Kalitas? I guess that's a card. Do we have any more lootings? Should we be holding lands? We do have a looting in our graveyard. What happens if we attack here with Bedlam Reveler? I think we need to. They block with the Arcbound Worker. Who is Jordan? Yeah, this is not burn. Okay. Yeah. God, they found another Hangerback Walker. I think I'm just gonna cry. Now this is a 2-turn clock. My opponent doing some pretty crazy things here. Maybe we'll draw a Snapcaster Mage off the top and just call it a day. If our deck likes us. Let's see that. 1, 2. Oh wow. Okay, so we have 4 bolts in the graveyard already. See 2 K commands in the yard. 24 cards left in our library. How many Faithless Lootings have we been through? 1, 2. 2 in the yard. 2 exile actually. 1 in the yard. Yeah, we're not having much fun here. Our opponent clawed their way back from like the sickest position. Is this just a worse version of Mardu? Quite possibly. Quite possibly this might just be a worse version of Mardu. We are so good at this game, guys. I just want you to know that this was all skill. That I knew that this card was on top of the deck, and I played this game perfectly such that we would win in this position. Attack to give him hope. No. Absolutely not. This is where they go like Nature's Claim, targeting my own hanger back, and then we're just like, alright, you got it. GG's. Alright. We're 3-1 in this league, so we already got our money back. That's fantastic. Let's see if we can get that 4-1. Yeah, that's what I just said. I'm going to take another quick bathroom break, guys, but I'll be back in just a second. Alright, we are back, folks. Luckily you knew the last card, right? Yeah, I knew. The RG counterspell. Not sure what that means, Kogan. You wanna elaborate? We still haven't gotten to Zahili downtick on a Bedlam Reveler, and I'm very upset about that. I want you all to know. Alright, on the play. Yeah, we're greedy. We are the greediest people on this planet. This is a snap keep. Rip. Guttural response? Oh, I think that only hits blue spells, right? Alright, Bant Spirits. This matchup is actually going to be pretty hard without Lingering Souls. Oh, sweet, sweet. Hit the land, hit the land. Probably want to discard one of the Thoughtseize. I mean, Thoughtseize can hit Collected Company, but it also deals us a lot of damage. I kind of want to keep all of my removals, so I think I just cut both of these discard spells here. Fire off a discard spell now. Keep my removal, keep my Young Pyromancer. Get a Blood Crypt. Acquisition. Oh, is there a green counter that hits black spells? Green counter that hits black spells. I don't know. I don't think so. Not that I'm familiar with, but we'll see what this is. Supreme Phantom. Part of me wants to just bolt that off the face of the earth right now. Part of me is, well, I can do both, right? Now I can do both. And then we can K-Command, get back Reveler, maybe kill another thing here. But this is where they hold up like Spell Queller for the rest of the game, and we just cry. 3 people ran Bant Spirits at my store last week. We do Wednesday Modern, about 20 people show up. Yeah, Bant Spirits has been really picking up. I actually did a video series on it on my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check it out. I released that just today. Was it yesterday? No, it was yesterday. Yesterday night. I played with Zan Saeed's Bant Spirits. It's pretty spicy, I actually had 2 mirrors in that match. Interesting. So I think getting another elemental is maybe a little bit worth it here. Also, Carlos Ilopizin, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. I'm actually going to get Island here, just in case we draw Jace. And we're definitely planning on casting this Bedlam Reveler next turn, so I'm going to go ahead and play out this land. Yeah, Bant Spirits has been really... I actually played 2 mirrors in the video series that I did with it, so if you're interested in my YouTube channel, you can go ahead and check that out. There should be a link to it down below under the video here, under the video screen, whatever you have. Opponent attacks.
I feel like they have to have Collected Company here. No Coco. Although they technically don't have to Coco main phase, but I feel like you probably do. Maybe they want a Coco right now? No. Get another black source. Thoughtseize. Well, that'll definitely get the Coco out of my opponent's hand. Here it comes. Yeah. Yeah, Bant Spirits has been picking up a lot of steam. Oh my god. Alright, how many Fatal Push can we find? Alright, we got a path. We're super close to just being dead. And we are not close to presenting lethal back. We can't really play this fetch land because then we die. And like we could still draw Faithless Looting, so I'll just hold these lands. So a sequence that might get us the win here, maybe is like Saheeli into Reveler or into Double Bolt. Our opponent breaks and attacks with everything here. Alright, they're cracking the canopy. Play an island. See if our opponent plays it safe or not. No, no playing it safe. Putting me to 1. Uh-oh. Oh, they got a blocker. Geist. Geist is a blocker. It's also another lethal threat. It's also a 5/5. Now take Geist, this amazing 3-drop with 2/2 body. Makes a bunch of stuff happen when it attacks. And now make it a 5/5. Now that card is scary. We'll go ahead and Reveler here, but I think we're pretty dead. Oh, the Mason Clark. Thank you for that, host. With 15 viewers. That's much appreciated. How did your stream go? I'm not familiar with your stream. So go ahead and give yourself a shout out here in the chat if you want. Really appreciate that that host. You're awesome. Thank you. Kind of needed to hit something with a Reveler last turn for anything to happen. So like we could Dreadbore one of them. Yeah, no, we're just dead. You're welcome and just fine. 3-2. I think that's probably what we're about to go. 3-2. We're in round 5 here. Down a game as 3-1, but hopefully we get there. What deck did you play? What format did you play? The Mason Clark. So we probably want to bring in our creature stuff here, but they're also a Collected Company deck, which makes Collective Brutality a little bit better than usual. Dispel hits Collected Company. Abrade is just a removal spell. Enduring Explosives is just a removal spell, basically. I think I like cutting the Jaces here. Probably want to cut the Saheeli again. Not where we want to be in this matchup. So this matchup is definitely a lot worse without access to Lingering Souls. If you've played the Mardu variant, you'll know that Lingering Souls is really important, especially chumping in the air, but also attacking in the air. And our opponent does both of those things. So we want to, we wish we had that here. Discard spells are actually pretty good on the play, I think. I want to keep most of them. I think I want Liliana, probably one of the most important cards here. Extra piece of removal, a Braid, also really important. Engineering Explosives on 2 is probably going to be pretty crazy. I looked earlier, I believe it was on Infect. That's cool. I actually own most of Blue-Green Infect in paper. I bought it a little bit before it won an SCG event, or top 2'd an SCG event or something like that. And then I tested a little bit in paper, but I just still stuck to Jeskai Control.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these cards over here are just a bit too narrow. Like, I like one Collective Brutality. I don't know if I want to go too hard on the Collective Brutalities, though. They do play Rest in Peace, so maybe cutting, like, one Bedlam Reveler for, like, Kalidas could be okay. Now, we have the 7 discard spells to hopefully beat that, but... Alright, it's a hand. We can rip a Rest in Peace from our opponent's hand here as well. Okay, no Rest in Peace. They have a Birds of Paradise. We could choose to just kill it. We could also go after one of their action spells, and I think that's what we want to do. Although Birds of Paradise significantly slows them down, we could like take Supreme. We could take Spell Queller and then abrade the Supreme Phantom. We could take Supreme Phantom and then abrade the Birds of Paradise. We have a couple options here. I kind of don't want to have to deal with Spell Queller later, but it does require them hitting land drops. I think I'm just going to take the Supreme Phantom. We'll abrade the bird. How y'all doing tonight? Everyone that came over from Mason Clark's stream or just hanging out here, how y'all doing? SD-S3 Bastion. What is that emote? Sovlev Boon. Nice to see you in chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here. Alright, Bolt is a really good answer to that Supreme Phantom. Really good answer. Wow, Inquisition. We just have like everything here we want. Yeah, we're doing it all. We are doing it all. I think, well... Yeah, I actually think this wants to get a basic swamp here. You go ahead and rip the Spell Queller from my opponent's hand. Bolt that. Hope our opponent doesn't top deck Rest in Peace, and call it a day. Alright, Noble Hierarch. This means they get to be less mana efficient, thankfully. I think we just play the land. Reveler. Yeah, the basic island is a little awkward, but also we're playing Jace, so... Wow, that was... really good. Those are some good cards in our hand here. But it wants to maybe... Okay, another Noble Hierarch is really good with Liliana the Last Hope here. My opponent could aggressively path to exile my Reveler, get in for 2 damage here. Them not doing so makes me a very happy person. Maybe they don't want to ramp me. Maybe they think ramping is worse than... Alright, so we need to dodge like something this turn, and then we can probably take over the game relatively easily. Alright. Looks like that's what we did exactly.
I think I kind of like our setup here. Yeah, the basic island is definitely awkward, but it's nice to be able to fetch it up if you want to play Jace. It's possible that Jace is just not correct in this deck. It's also possible that Saheeli's not correct in this deck, but I kind of was just messing around a bit. We have removal. We don't have discard spells, but we have Thought Scour to maybe power out this this Reveler. We have Engineer Explosives. Putting that on 2 is really powerful against Bant Spirits. Polluted Delta is probably going to find us the Steam Vents, and we'll kill this 1 mana card, whatever it is. Happy to kill it. I wonder if Mono Red plus UR Pyromancer Blitz is playable. Oh my god, did my opponent keep a 1-lander? No, opponent. No. Alright, unfortunately we're not really punishing them that hard. If they miss for 1 turn, they're actually in an okay spot. Miss, miss, miss. Miss. Yeah, what up? We're so good at Magic. We are so good at Magic. Greed is real, price is right too. Oh no, they hit the land. Here comes the rest in peace. Supreme Phantom, the Rattle Chains, the Selfless Spirit. What you got? Supreme Phantom, that's dead. Inquisition. Alright, so a couple options. We could go Inquisition plus Snap Bolt. We could go Inquisition plus a Braid. I kind of like going Inquisition plus Snap Bolt. It's just the most mana efficient play. I think maybe I was supposed to get a Steam Vents with this here if I'm getting a... I guess we can just still get Steam Vents, right? Because we're greedy. Alright, opponent has a bunch of Supreme Phantoms. A lot of scary cards on 3 as well. So like, I kind of want to take the Geist here. We can power through those Supreme Phantoms pretty easily. Geist presents a little bit of a problem, although so does Drogskall Captain. Spell Queller, not so much. You don't need to be good, you just need to be better than your opponent. I think we're better than them, right? Yeah. This hand is actually pretty loaded though. Like, they hit 1 land drop, it becomes a game. Kind of want to take the Geist. It's hardest to interact with. Also kind of want to take Drogskall Captain. Also want to kind of take Supreme Phantom. But I think we can kill Drogskall Captain pretty easily, that it's okay if we just leave him with it. Taking Geist is... What's correct? More lands equals better? You mean if they hit lands? Oh, it means us being better? Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Us hitting land drops? Them not hitting land drops? I mean, that's all skill. You guys didn't see me stacking my deck before the game started? This just applies more pressure faster, so getting a body in play, actually closing out the game. It also makes it less awkward with this Reveler in our hand. Impressive, yeah. Thank you. I try really hard. It looks like they hit a land. We'll see if my opponent wants to play this out. They could play a 2-drop. Alright, looks like my opponent just has no fear. They're going to try to Spell Queller us. They're not Spell Quellering us. So what are they doing exactly? This just is totally fine for us if they're going to play this way. They want to Path my young Pyromancer? Damage is done, my friend. Getting the forest kind of means to me they're playing out their Spell Queller. Say okay to that. We'll abrade it and move along. Get our token. Be happy. This is a turn where they might deploy Supreme Phantom. Plus hold up Path. Yeah. One on the red source, I think we do. I think we just attack with everything. I have presented a loop, opponent. I have presented a loop. Stacking a deck you never even actually see. It's just a number. Wait, why is there no deck on MTGO? What? Are you like going all conspiracy theory on me right now, man? Alright, if they flash in like a Rattle Chains or a Spell Queller here, I think we just win. Just make sure not to tap away all our black mana. Now we got Collective Brutality. Brutality, Snap Brutality. Yeah, this plays around Spell Queller though. Alright, apparently this spell costs black mana. How do you draw your cards if there's a deck right here, 39. What are you talking about? What are you smoking today, Kogan? What are you smoking today? Well, my friends, we got a 4-1. That's that's more than I expected with this pile. Whoops. Let's go back to that. We were able to beat Bant Spirits here. That's our 4-1. Somehow, this pile of cards ended up getting a 4-1. Do I even remember the matches we played against? Round 1. What did even we play against round 1? Played against a lot of stuff. Played against Infect somewhere in there. We played against Hollow One. Played against Hardened Scales Affinity. Played against Bant Spirits. Jace was a shining star with this deck. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many times we resolved Jace in this league? Do you even know? I think the answer is 0. I think we resolved both Jace and Saheeli 0 times in this league. Grixis Pyro better than Mardu Pyro? Absolutely. This confirms it. This single 4-1 with this deck outshines every single GP top 8 or GP win with Mardu Pyromancer. All of the 5-0s, all of the modern challenge wins, all of the local events that Mardu Pyromancer has done well in. This result right here just Looks sweet. Thank you, Milo. Yeah, I brewed this up like 10 minutes before the stream. All lies. What are you talking about? Do I look like a liar to you? I don't think so. I think I have a very believable face. Can you say no to this smile right here? Can you tell me no that I'm not a liar? I don't think you can. I don't think you can do it. I think you're going to take it back, Kogan. Thinking about the deck moving forward, like, I don't know what to do with these slots right here. Also, maybe, whoops. Let's get Snapcaster back in here. Ashiok would make this super spicy. Dude, honestly, Ashiok at least seems okay in the sideboard, maybe against creature decks. I've never liked Ashiok in the main deck, mostly because it's just super dead in decks that you can't really protect it well. Like, you know, you played in like some Esper Shell, you probably have Supreme Verdict, you probably have Lingering Souls, but you played in a Grixis Shell, and I think you have a lot less ways to make use of it. Lily, yeah, Lily is also probably very playable here. But I think if you want to play around with some slots, these are probably the 4 slots you want to play around with. Maybe the Collector Brutality doesn't have to be main deck either. I was considering a 20th land as well, but I was talking about how Thought Scour kind of negates the fact that maybe you don't need the 20th land. So if like Mardu Pyromancer has just 4 Faithless Looting and 20 lands, and we have 19 lands plus Thought Scour. You +2 Ashiok and mill over 3 Tron lands. Yeah, and then like they still draw their Tron lands and they kill you. I guess maybe you can hit like their Ulamogs, but Ashiok puts them into play, doesn't even cast them. You don't even get the triggers. And like it's funny, but Tron has a lot of ways to beat itself. So like you know, Tron isn't that good against itself. Like you play Wormcoil Engine, they play Karn. You know what I mean? You play Ulamog, they play Karn. You play Ulamog, they play Ulamog. So I play Angrath Flamechain. Geez, are you just throwing out like random planeswalkers here? Devil, you don't. Thank you also for joining us here today. Much appreciated your participation in the chat. I think you want your planeswalkers to either be really strong or synergize with the enter the battlefield effect. So that was my reasoning with Saheeli. But it's possible that let's look like Liliana. Like one of the 2 Lilianas might just be better. Like Liliana, one of these 2 could just be better in those slots. But I don't know. I don't think Liliana is super good with Snapcaster Mages, and that she's also not the best with cantrips. I bet Tibalt fits well. Yeah, Tibalt seems fantastic. Random, you know, we want all our cards in our graveyard. Doesn't matter, right? Why doesn't Hollow One play Tibalt, right? Come on, guys, we're breaking the format here. Yeah, that's the reason I don't like Liliana of the Veil in this deck. I really just want the least played planeswalkers to break the meta somehow. You know, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we're breaking the meta here. We're definitely having fun. I mean, 4-1 is more than I expected with this deck, but we're definitely having fun. Breaking the meta, you're in the wrong stream if you're here to break the meta. I'm just kidding. Well, we'll break the stream, the meta one day. I think Liliana the Last Hope is probably more reasonable than any other possibility here, but Liliana the Last Hope feels a little narrow in my opinion, but she does like just rebuy her own cards in the main deck, and sometimes she just wins games by herself. It's discard or enemy. That's what you want with Hollow One. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Why doesn't Hollow One play Tibalt? It's like insane. Turn to the sideboard. Maybe Surgical is better than Leyline. We can maybe test that out later. Devil, you don't. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Glad to have you here. This is like our 4th stream ever, so we're a growing little stream. Things don't look perfect. You might see that little chat box over there. I will be fixing that. Probably try to make the text a little bigger. But I think this setup is okay. We got like the main deck showing, we got the chat box showing. His ultimate is kind of functional. I don't even remember his ultimate. What does it do? Like deal damage to players or something? Does it even hit planeswalkers? Is that like does it even do that with the change? Have you checked out Sultai Midrange? I have. I actually played Sultai Midrange when Jace came out, and I played it pretty horribly. Sultai Midrange was a deck that I was pretty bad at piloting. So I don't know if I'd ever really go back to that, but it's definitely an option for the stream. I have most of the cards. I have a playset of Goyfs. I have 2 Jaces. I have a couple Lilies. I have a Mana Trader subscription to, you know, fill in some gaps if I'm missing some cards. So we can definitely play it down the road. I personally didn't really like it very much. I think it's like worse than Jund and worse than Abzan. It's just like the worst black-green configuration. Like Jace, you would think would be like so good, and you think cantrips. Oh my god, we got cantrips, but like you also don't have Bolt, and you don't have Bloodbraid Elf, and you don't have Lingering Souls. Like, so what does blue really give you? It just gives you like Jace, and I don't think that's what black green necessarily wants to be. But those lists have definitely seen success, so I'm not gonna badmouth them anything. It just didn't seem too powerful to me when I played it. But I'm also a crappy pilot. Let's just leave it at that. But let's not go ahead and ignore the fact that we just got 8 chests. So we're going to open some of them here. Let me look at your list you pulled up for me. 4 Confidant, 2 Jace Vryn's Prodigy, 1 Scoos, 2 Snapcaster, and SCG Cincinnati from a couple months ago. Nissa Steward of Elements, that is really spicy. A Hero's Downfall, I'm always a fan of Hero's Downfall in Modern. I played a couple in Blue-Black Control. 21 land seems a little low, even with Serum Visions for a black-green deck trying to hit 4 mana spells. I kind of like it. That one of Ashiok in the sideboard. It's doing a lot of cool things. Gain control of all creatures until end of turn, untap them, and then gain haste until end of turn. That's Tybalt's ultimate. Wow. That's, hey, that's pretty sweet. Don't think it's right for our deck, but it's pretty sweet, right? So we just finished up, for anyone that's just joining, we finished up a 4-1 with this pile of cards right here. Let's go ahead and open a chest. I played this deck and it looked really... I played against this deck and it looked really fun. So it looked really fun, but how competitive was it? Was it like really fun on the level of what we were doing here? Or was it like competitive? Or was it just like doing neat things, but like is maybe objectively worse than other things happening in the format? Might have a new deck. Yeah, I don't think so. But look, you go put Tybalt in Hollow One. Just get a 3/2. That's all I'm asking. You get a 3/2, and we'll talk. We'll definitely have a conversation then. All right, let's go ahead and open up one of these chests. See what we got. Nullstone Gargoyle. Whenever the first non-creature spell of a turn is cast, counter that spell. Oh, that's 9 mana. I was like, why isn't this played? This card is amazing. Yeah, that's some trash. It's like Grixis Pyro. Yeah, it's Grixis Pyro. It's worse than Mardu Pyro. For sure, for sure. Competitive League? I don't know, man. Friendly, competitive, knock yourself out. You get me a 3/2. The disappointment in that is what we got. Yeah. Next up. Elspeth Sun's Champion. This card. This used to be my nickname, Elspeth Sun's Champion. You know why? Because I would top deck this card at the most opportune times. I used to play Jeskai and sometimes Blue-White Control as well. Elspeth Sun's Champion off the top is my catchphrase. It's my nickname, right? I didn't ever say it was outstanding, just neat. Are you talking about the deck we have here, or Mardu Pyromancer? What are you talking about, Kogan? Oh, sure. You're talking about Sultai. Yeah, definitely not outstanding, probably, but still pretty sweet. Honestly, Sultai seems like a fine deck to me. I'm not here to like badmouth it or anything like that. DJ Juan, thank you so much for that follow. Really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you stick around for some future streams. Yeah, the Sultai list seems fine. Like, honestly, any deck that has Inquisition into Goyf and into Lily as a curve seems like an absolutely fine deck. I'm of the opinion that like discard spells are really powerful in Modern. Like, there's some of the best ways you can interact with what's going on in the meta. So definitely any deck that has that kind of curve can just win games. Is it the best deck for it? No, probably not, but it maybe gets some edges in the grind where you can like Serum Visions and like churn through your deck and find the right things. It's official, Hedron Alignment deck. Let's do it. At the beginning of a coup, you may reveal your hand. If you do, you win the game. If you own a card named Hedron in exile in your hand in your graveyard on the battlefield, yo, brew me a Hedron Alignment deck, and we'll play it in a 1v1. If you can do that, Kogan, or anyone, we'll do it. All right, let's open up one more chest here. One more chest, last chest. Bedlam Reveler, it's a sign, guys. We are doing the right thing. It's brewed already, honestly. Send me a link. Send me a link. I'm really interested in that. Bedlam Reveler we opened. That has got to be a sign. That is, you know, I think Bedlam Reveler is the card I've always been dreaming of in Modern. I actually, when it came out, I brewed it in a blue-red like Delver deck. I brewed it in like Jeskai Geist, and like it was just so bad there. But like, also I wasn't playing Faithless Looting, so it's probably why I wasn't having much fun. But yeah. That's a Bedlam for. Devil You Don't. What about Nimble Obstructionist just to stifle people? Honestly, Nimble Obstructionist has been like really interesting to me lately. A card that maybe I want to play around with. I know it's a pretty kind of expensive card, but it's also got multiple modes on it, right? It's a creature for 3/1 with flying, or for 3 mana with 3/1 flyer. That's already a pretty good rate. And the fact that you can also stifle plus draw a card is sweet. I played around with Nimble Obstructionist and Jeskai Tempo as like a one-of a while ago, but personally it's not a card I've tested with extensively. But when I did play it, I was like, this card is neat, you know. The fact that it can do multiple things means that it's usually never dead. Hedron Alignment against the odds. Oh god, if you're linking me to Saffron Olive, that already reduces your credibility by like 2 points. But all right, I'll take a look at it. Against the odds, Hedron Alignment. Let's go ahead and exit this out for anyone who just wants to see the deck. Anyone who's joining in right now or hasn't been listening so far, these are like probably the flex slots here of the deck. I kind of like the rest of what's going on, but you know, the Planeswalkers, the third Snap, Collective Brutality, those could all be different cards. Also, we're thinking about maybe Surgical Extraction over Leyline of the Void in the sideboard. And I don't know if these counterspells are even fitting. I always feel bad siding in these counterspells with Bedlam Reveler in the deck. Let me see a deck list here. God, Gather the Pack. What in the world am I looking at? Alright, I don't even... Just looking at this is making me, like, twitch. Sorry, that's standard. Hold on. Here's Modern. Alright. I was going to say, that was, like, what am I looking at? Snapcaster. Alright, we already got some Snapcasters here, so... Secret Salvage. Target an online card from your graveyard. I should live for any card with the same name as that. How do you get them into exile, though? Ah, with, like, Delve? Ooh, that's kind of cool. That is pretty cool. Oh, and Secret Salvage also exiles it, right? That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. I don't know if I'm, like... How much money? How many ticks is that deck? This deck is 422 ticks. Now, I own the 4 Snapcasters already. I own most of the cards, honestly, but... that looks like the most ridiculous pile of cards I've ever seen. Okay, I don't know. It's 102 here. I'm pretty tired. I don't know if we're gonna continue the stream. I do want to thank everyone who has joined us here today. I think we had like a new record of like 27 viewers thanks to the Mason Clark's host. That was really awesome. If you have been watching but haven't spoken in the chat or anything like that, I do recommend or encourage you to chat with me here. That is one of the best ways to ask me questions and make fun of me for making bad plays. That's very good as well. And if you're new to watching my content, I do have a YouTube channel as well, where I post you know, a couple of video series every now and again. The YouTube is just under my name, Oren Lagziel. There also should be a link under the stream video here, so go ahead and look down there, and you should see a link to it. Also follow me on Twitter. I do update when I go live. I also update when I post new videos on my YouTube channel. So if that's the way you want to, you know, be aware of my content, please go ahead and hit that follow button on Twitter or
whatever works for you. You can also reach me on Facebook. Now, I'm a little more hesitant on who I communicate with on Facebook, so if you're a normal person and you just want to chat on Facebook, you can go ahead and give me a message. That's totally fine, but let's not be weird about it, obviously. And yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Kogan, just like all my suggestions, never said it was good, just something. Yeah, no, for sure. It definitely looked fun, and Saffron Olive definitely knows how to make a fun deck. Let's give him that. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. I have no idea how to like host people. I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to that. We can try to like host someone, but I might have to like, I don't know, blank the stream. Yeah, hey, thanks Kogan. Thanks for hanging out, Kogan. Really appreciate it. Honestly, thank you for being here. That's all I can say. We're gonna learn how to host another time, but for now I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, actually maybe I can host from here. Hold the baby. Alright, so we're gonna try to host right now. Bum-ba-da-dum. What's your master's in? Sorry, I'm new. Hey, no worries. Don't need to be sorry about anything. My master's is in kinesiology. My bachelor's was in bioengineering, and my field of study, my specialization within all of that is modeling prostheses. Guys, I have no idea how to host. This is just like the worst. I'm an idiot. Streaming tools? No, that's not it. Can I like go to someone's stream and host them? Is that how it works? Let's see if anyone has like maybe someone I'm not familiar with, but maybe they're playing Modern I can send you guys over to. Standard, Black Red, Vengevine, and competitive Modern. Is there anyone I'm familiar with? Averos is not streaming anymore. Conley is streaming, but he doesn't need... I'm working on my master's now as well. That's awesome, Devil You Don't. How's that going for you? It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough for me so far. Just like teaching and having classes and doing your own personal research. That's just like... It was really overwhelming for me the first year, and it's still overwhelming for me, but I'm in the second year of college. That's awesome, Kogan. What are you studying? Also, what are you studying, Devil You Don't? As I figure out how to host. Getting good with Legacy, Infect, Modern. Hey, Esper Control and Modern. Yo, I gotta send you over to Esper Control, right? This is the only way? Pathological Science. That's sweet, man. I'm a communications theory guy. Gee, we got some smart people up in here. That's awesome, guys. That is awesome. Are you like, are you breaking down my communication pattern as I'm talking here? Are you putting terms to what I'm doing? I swear I'm gonna figure out how to host. I'm gonna figure out how to host once we finish up. Once we lose all our viewers, that's when we figure out how to host. I've gone to Google, literally. How to use type host/channel name in your chat? It's that simple? Is it that simple? All right, we'll try it. Host. I'm gonna send you guys over to Esper Control. I want to thank you, every single one of you guys, for joining me here for this stream. Really appreciate it. We finished up a league. We went 4-1. Had a good time. And hopefully they're having a good time over at Esper Control there. So yeah, we're a little growing channel. Things are slowly looking better and better, but I'll keep updating the quality of the stream, and we'll get there one day, right? All right. What is rating? I don't even. Let's just like host.